All right, so today I end the great debate about what my hair type really is. I know because it moves and it's defined and it looks coily or curly to a lot of people. I've heard all types of things. People think that I'm mixed. People think I really have 3C hair. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what my hair looks like in different states and let you be the obvious judge here. So this is my hair as I just got up out of bed in the morning. As you can see, it's very coily, very springy. But I'm going to go ahead and hydrate it with some product right now to show you what it looks like after I've done that. And so I'm putting Curl Lover conditioner in my hair right now, if anyone's wondering. And I'm just using the rake and shingle method to apply. I will get to show you that there is a curl pattern difference between the curls growing out of the back of my head as opposed to the curls growing out of the front of my head, and that's probably what has caused so much confusion. But the majority of my hair is the texture that you are looking at right now. It's a little bit hard to pull out just one strand for you guys to see. I really struggled because coily, springy 4C hair has a tendency to clump very easily. And that's what gives us that afro look, because it's a bunch of tiny, teeny curls, one on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. So I finally got one single strand out for you guys to take a look at. And as you can see, it's just coily. It's a coily spring. I added some water, I think, here because I was getting a little frustrated with just trying to pull out one single strand of my hair, because that is the behavior of 4C hair, is that it has a real tendency to clump up. It loves to clump up, and even one strand that looks like it might just be one coily strand is not one, but is actually two or sometimes even three, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So I was still really struggling to get just one single strand out for you guys to take a look at. So I just went ahead and put some of the Silk Curl hair gel to add a little bit more definition and to help me separate my little coils for you. Finally here, I think, is where I got the strands separated so that you could see. So these are, and you can even tell, these are like two strands in the bottom. The bottom two coils that you're looking at are actually composed of two coily strands. You can tell because it kind of separates in the middle. But this is just giving you an idea of just how tiny these curls are that are covering the majority of my head. These are not anything more than 4C hair. So for comparison, I just pulled up a picture of some 4A hair for you guys. And although the pattern of the hair looks similar, it's the diameter and the curl size that are different. And mine are teeny tiny. Look at this one strand here. And again, it's not one, it's two coily strands that are sort of interlocked together to give it a little bit of a thickness. So I go in with my nails and I'm trying to like separate them. Okay, I grabbed another one by accident. But as you see me splitting this tiny curl strand, look, it's even three. It's actually three curl strands that are wrapping together as one. Okay, but the general characteristic is that they're like coily springs, okay? They are not like curls. They are more like coily springs. You pull them out, they have a high rate of shrinkage, they bounce back. My hair has about 50% shrinkage, or a little bit more actually. I think it has about 60% shrinkage. But yeah, these coils are literally fairy tale magical. It's unbelievable that they even exist, but they do exist, and this is what the majority of 4C hair looks like when it has been hydrated fully. This principle can be demonstrated very easily in larger curl types such as 3C hair. 3C hair, which is common in a lot of mixed people, but also in a lot of African Americans as well, is the type of hair that is very fluffy, can be like an afro at times, and can be quite kinky. But as soon as you get it wet with water or with products, it easily hydrates and forms these really luscious ringlet style curls that everybody loves. I am not mixed, My parents and myself were all born in Cameroon, West Africa. That is a country that is just south of Nigeria. This is a country where the majority of slaves originated. The slaves that were brought all throughout, South America and the Caribbean, majority of them came from Cameroon, the Congo, Nigeria. Okay, so this coily, springy hair that you see is absolutely certified West African hair, all right? So how can you tell what your hair type is? The best way to just start off is just to compare it to other well-known naturalistas or hair vloggers and see what hair type did they identify with and compare it to yours. So as an example, what I'm showing you here is the hair type of Protective Princess. Where I first saw her was actually featured in Black Hair Information, which was a natural hair vlog that us OG naturalistas used to be all over. I'm talking back in like 2010, 2011, okay? So I was actually one of the staff writers for Black Hair Information, having graduated from the University of Southern California with an English degree. One of the articles I wrote for them featured her beautiful tiny curls, just to showcase that the tiniest curls in the world could be achieved out of possibly 4C, 4Z hair. Protective Princess's hair is an absolute miracle. It's the same texture all over her entire head. Her hair really speaks as a testament to those who feel that their coils or curls are too tiny to be defined, too tiny to have any sort of length, too tiny to be moisturized and healthy and luscious. Her hair absolutely speaks as a testament against all those things. It's simply not true. You have to find what exactly your hair absolutely loves and give it to it. Listen to your hair, because your hair can absolutely be moisturized and absolutely does have a curl pattern, even if you have never seen it. Me personally, how I was able to define my curls was over time. I started off using just banana avocado hair masks. I used them religiously. These masks were very thick. They did not penetrate into my cuticles. Instead, they coated my hair very thickly. So even though they did not actually hydrate and moisturize my hair, what they did do was to train my curls to clump together. And that's something that they never did before. If you'd like to know the full story of how I stumbled upon these banana hair masks, go ahead and watch my video, How It Started, A Bad Relaxer, and Bananas. The hair that I have that you see today is a result of years of putting in the work to try to make my hair healthy and figuring out and trying anything and everything under the sun. So if you want healthier hair, I can't promise that it'll happen overnight. However, I can promise that you can learn from us naturalistas who have spent years of experience gathering knowledge and education to be able to guide you guys in how to make your hair healthier. So I just wanted to show what the front of my hair looked like as opposed to the back of my hair. And because my curls in the front are a little bit bigger and hang a little bit looser than the coils in the back of my head. And this is probably what causes the most confusion about what my actual curl pattern is. But these curls, as you can see, as compared to the curls in the back of my head, are probably about 3 times roughly the size of the coils in the back of my head. Now, do keep in mind that the coils in the back of my head cover about 75% of my entire head. Only about 25%, like a quarter of my head, are actually covered in these slightly larger coils. And I would not categorize the curls in the front of my head as a 4A. 4A is much larger, actually. I would say they're about 2 to 3 times the size of the curls in the front of my head. I believe that I have the elusive 4B curl pattern in the front of my head. Now, a little later in the video, I will show you exactly the reason why I believe they are 4B instead of 4A curls, besides just the obvious, which is the size. 4B is known for having this sort of zigzag pattern curl, and as you see me pull it out a little bit, you can kind of see what I mean, but you can tell a little bit more actually when I wet my hair. All right, now although you see me spritzing my hair a little bit here to try and get it wet and show you the curl pattern in the front a little bit more clearly, it's still not going to give you exactly that zigzag pattern that I'm talking about fully. You can kind of see it as I'm aligning my curls, but when I get my hair more wet, you'll see towards the end of the video what that looks like. Hopefully here you can see the difference between these more loose curls and the very springy tiny curls in the back of my head. This is 4C hair in the back of my head. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, or whys. That is 4C hair, guys. So I pull out the curls in the front of my hair and in the back of my hair just to compare as far as the sizing. Like I said, it is so slight, the size difference here. I give it even maybe only double. I said triple before, but maybe it's only double the size of the curls in the back. And that's the reason why I don't jump and say that the curls in the front of my hair are 4A. They're really not. 4A is pretty obvious when you look at it. Especially when you start to compare the thickness of the curl. 4A is nice and thick and juicy, very close to 3C. My hair, on the other hand, even though it's thick, even though it's coarse, each of my hair strands actually feel extremely fine, and that is the same description that Protective Princess uses with her hair. It is extremely fine, although it is coarse and high density. Thick as in high density. There's probably 1 billion or more curls on my actual head. Okay, and this is me just separating out the section of my hair that hangs a little bit more loose to show you guys how much of my hair is actually 4C. And as you can see, it is the greater majority. If I pull out any of these tiny little coils that are growing out of the middle of my head, you can really see the same kind of springy coil effect that was happening in the back of my head and kind of hanging down. Those are 4C coils. All right, so enough talk, time to show you guys some movement. All right, so I've just gone ahead and put curl lever all throughout my hair only. And even with just the conditioner, you can see how much my hair moves in real time. No slow-mo needed to be able to tell. And that goes for the tiny little coils even in the back of my head, okay? A little side angle view for you. That's right. Still movement. Yep. Still movement. I'm going to go ahead and put some silk curl hair gel all throughout my hair as well to get more definition going. And after I've done that, you can see how much more defined those curls are in the middle of my head that I was trying to show you off of my dry bed head before. If you were wondering, that dry bed head that you saw was actually day 5 with no product being applied to my hair. So this is my first day since my wash day on Saturday where I'm actually reapplying any kind of product to my hair. I've just been rinse refreshing on a daily basis. And I've also noticed that over time, I've had to be using less and less product. When I first created my product line, I was using it every single day just to keep my curls really nice and moisturized. Then it was every other day, then every 3 days, to finally now where I can go 5 entire days without having to reapply any product. So this is the moment I'm sure most of you were waiting for, the slow-mo. And this is without rinse refreshing, just with products in my hair, and you see how much curl movement I have. Remember, only 25% of my hair is that looser curl, and you can see it's the really longer part of my hair that's hanging down there, but the majority of my head are these tiny little springy coils. Whew, talk about coil movement, right? 4C hair, guys. 4C coils just swinging in the wind. The real key to the success of the product line that I created is that it helps your hair to be able to hold more water. It is chock full of humectants, conditioners, moisture retainers, and a lot of ingredients that help your hair to hold water. That's why wetting your hair daily is essential to its use. Not to mention, naturally dry hair needs water more than anything else. All right, so important to take a look at this. This is the size of my coils. This is centimeters, by the way, not inches. Okay, inches are at the bottom on the other side. So those tiny coils that you saw on my head are literally 3 millimeters in diameter. 3 millimeters, okay? And for the coils in the front of my head that everyone's so obsessed to think that they're 4A, these are only half a centimeter. Half a centimeter! It's ridiculous how tiny my coils are, and yet healthy, moisturized, and defined. I just wanted to show you what it looked like straight out of the shower after I wet it with the products in it. And as you can see, my coils actually swell when they hydrate with water, so they look a little bit bigger than they actually are. But you can still tell there's a difference between the size of my coils from the front of my hair and the size in the back of my hair. 3 millimeters! 3 millimeters! These tiny little things, how do they even exist? It's incredible. All right, so I promised I'd show you my hair is wet, why I believe I have 4B in the front of my head. And it's because, as you can see, it has this zigzag shape as opposed to the curls. It sort of hangs in a zigzaggy fashion. And they're fun, they're different, I love them. But yeah, I believe that they are the elusive 4B. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. If you have any questions or comments for me, leave them down below. I appreciate it. All right, take care.